Hey everyone, Brian Von J here, back at it again with another set of D&D stories. Today we've got a doozy, so strap on in, make sure that you have your drinky poo and your snacks as well, because we got a doozy. Luckiest, holy crap, we survived moment, part 1. We had a usual party of 5, however, this session only myself, Genasi Sorceress, and the Halfling Rogue were present due to life reasons. Since it was pretty common not to have the full party, the Halfling and I decided to just have a relaxed session exploring a local forest. Now, the important thing in this case is for forest encounters, our DM used a random generator based on our character levels. The DM rolls it up, and we follow a track we find. After a few successful rolls, we find a Harpy Matriarch. Not that we knew this as PCs. The DM described it as a confident and beautiful looking woman with wings and feathers. The rogue hides, sneaking up while my sorceress approaches to talk. The talking didn't go over well, and we ended up in combat, the rogue getting a surprise round to attack, dealing a good hit before we roll initiative. I roll highest initiative and go first, immediately moving back as far as I could. I debate which spell to cast, settling on animate objects tiny, animating 10 tiny sticks around the harpy. Harpy Matriarch goes next. Uses a song to charm us both, with a wisdom save at disadvantage due to the Harpy Matriarch's special ability. My Wiz modifier is 0. The Rogue's Wiz modifier is -1. We both fail. Harpy uses BA to order my character to drop the spell. This would happen on my next turn. The Harpy couldn't move away from the animated objects without an attack of opportunity times 10, so she just stays put. The Rogue goes next, fails the Wiz save to break the spell. The following moves were 10 attacks by tiny animated object, the sticks managing to deal 61 damage and killing the Harpy Matriarch by 1 hit point. The Harpy dies as it reaches my turn, snapping us back to reality. The Halfling and my Sorceress sort of stare in dumbfounded fascination at the sticks, each taking one with us as a good luck charm. If I had cast any other spell, our characters would have died then and there. I guess you can say that was a sticky situation? I'll see myself out. The campaign, Curse of Strahd. Location, Victor's workroom of Burgomaster's mansion in Volakai. Party angered the Burgomaster, so the whole town was after them. Party attempted to fight 12 guards at level 2. The fight did not go well, so the party barricaded themselves in the mansion and ran to the teleportation circle. Party had low health at this point. This bogus teleportation circle does not teleport, but caused 3d10 force damage instead. If a creature reaches 0 HP by the circle, it is disintegrated. In other words, the party is likely to TPK. DM rolled 3 10s. DM, trying not to TPK the party, asked everyone to make a dexterity saving throw of DC 15 to halve the damage. Everyone passed, but the party is down to 1 to 3 hit points each. DM rolled another D20 to check if the bogus teleportation circle had any other effect. Rolled a nat 20. Party decided that the circle teleported everyone else in a 60-foot radius from the teleportation circle to someone random on the map of Barovia. DM rolled another D20. Checked the map. The city guards, including the Burgomaster, were teleported to Sur Falls. The party drowned more than 20 humans in one fight. Party gained enough XP that fight to level up to level 3. Happened just last night. Me and the rogue of the group went into a cave that turned out to be a temple. While investigating, we find out that the temple was dedicated to a death god. Eventually, after solving a puzzle we encountered, a crypt full of coffins, skeletons came out of the coffins and we fight. 30 minutes later, the rogue is making death saves and I'm on 1 HP, barely surviving. At this point, I'm surrounded and about to die. My only choice is to roll for divine intervention, praying to Hexblade, my deity. I roll 72. At this point, I'm making a new character sheet. DM says, you have an additional turn. I'm like, fuck it, I roll divine intervention again, but I pray to the death god. I get a fucking 1. The dude playing rogue starts freaking out, and the DM is like, give me a few minutes. He left the voice chat and talked to another DM for advice. He comes back after 10 minutes and says the following. As you pray, the earth starts shaking violently. The skeletons are horrified and try to run back to their coffins. I destroy them and carry the rogue outside. In the distance, we see an entire town get completely consumed by a chasm, and the mountain we were on is shaking. DM then says end of session, and that the death god is my new deity. I prefer Hermes. You guys know why. DM here, my PCs were part of a guild that focused on hunting down monsters both as contract work and as a lordly obligation. The party was sent out on a man of war, massive ship decked out in cannons and a few mortars. Their job was to kill a Charybdis, based on the Greek myth. In my world, however, they are a species of Leviathan on the level of a Tarrasque, not the only one, mind you. So the party on this colossal vessel ends up patrolling a region with a deep trench below it, reasoning that a Charybdis lives in deeper water until it needs to feed in shallower water, due to its colossal size, 90 foot wide and over 300 feet long. They were right, but not as prepared as they thought. The Charybdis I designed has the main body and 4 tentacles with separate health pools. Each tentacle could attack or constrict pretty much anything. 2 of the Charybdis's tentacles were made to grip the boat and slowly crush it. The other 2 were smacking away at the adventurers. Each tentacle had about 200 health, but lacked any major immunities or resistances, save for psychic, poison, poisoned, charmed, and frightened. They did a fair bit of damage on each slam, and they struck in a line up to 30 feet, from their position to their target. The Charybdis itself had an ichor excretion it would use as a lair action that sucked the oxygen out of the environment, dealing bludgeoning damage to those that succeeded the con save or making those that failed unconscious until they took damage. The party wasn't actually in real danger, health-wise. The real threat was the boat itself. The tentacles crushing the ship, and the Charybdis using another lair action, Rip Current, to deal massive bludgeoning damage to the boat and or taking a bite out of it was really wearing the boat down. The man of war had a colossal health pool of over 1k HP, but it was about to die just before the party killing the Charybdis. Even though the party itself was only a little worse for wear, they were seriously in danger of the boat sinking underneath them and ending up in the Leviathan's stomach amid a mass of sharp wooden debris, aka instant TPK if they didn't kill it in time. This was a 3.5 game. The party: Krunk the Barbarian Daworth, Bolkar the Human Paladin, and Matilda the Human Cleric, had been traveling for 3 days in an attempt to find answers and the Oracle who can help us defeat the Obsidian Emperor. Every time the party went up the mountain, we would die and reset. We had 92 hours to get our answers and talk to the Oracle. But finally, after the 3rd or 4th attempt, with 2 hours to spare, we got our answers. We know how to defeat the big bad, but the timer is still going down. Together we faced the foe that was hunting us, a creature called the Worm That Walks. We prepared as much as we could, summoning a stone structure to act as a small fortress, magic items to increase the crit range on our weapons, and all of us using our best skills. When the worm arrives, it singles out the paladin, and the paladin wrecks it. Matilda and Krunk are taking out the goons, but we see Bolkar start to struggle, so we make a beeline to him. Krunk flies up in the air to try and sunder the worm's weapon, a size-changing mace, or his armor, pretty basic full plate. But a Nat 1 results in the worm catching him, and another Nat 1 results in Krunk being devoured by worms. Because the Worm That Walks, my dear innocent 5th edition players, is a human-shaped mass of flesh-eating worms. It's a mass of worms who bundle themselves together to make a finger, and then latch onto another bundle that made the hand. This thing is terrifying, and it just ate Krunk. In the same turn, Bolkar's torn in half by the strength of the Worm That Walks. Throughout this, Matilda, who has had enough, has been chucking fireball after fireball, and now both her friends are dead. Matilda is level 9. Krunk was level 13 and Bolkar was level 15. Matilda has the least amount of health. This thing, with the attack that is the flesh-eating worms, does 100 damage. Matilda has 84 HP. The Worm That Walks increases the size of the mace and throws it. Matilda watches as it goes over her head and off the mountain. She snaps. What was that? You kill Krunk, and then you kill Bolkar, but you can't kill me? Looking at the worm that walks, it appears that most of the worms on the face and chest have been killed off by Bulkar, and the DM reveals it's the man that trained Matilda, Bulkar, and Krunk back when they were level 0 warriors. In a flash, the anger increases. I watched my friends die 3 times, 4 times now. Either you kill me, or I kill you, Rolf. The following combat, no one, not the DM and the worm that walks, or me and Matilda, gets a roll higher than 20. The worm can't hit Matilda, Matilda can't hit the worm. It's back and forth, this constant miss, dodge, miss. Matilda starts casting spells, and those aren't doing as much, but then, she casts Ray of Enfeeblement, a spell that drains the target's strength score, and it crits. I don't know if spells can crit in 3.5, but Matilda got a nat 20 on the range touch attack, and then rolled max damage. The worm that walks crumbles. The worm's unable to hold up the half-rotten corpse of Rolf anymore. It falls, they scatter, and me and the other players are half screaming, half crying. That was the longest 10 minutes of my life. Matilda then used the wish spell Krunk gave her from the deck of many things to revive them, since her healing abilities didn't have an effect. We were all positive that that was the end of the campaign. Matilda was going to die via colossal mace to the face, or the worm was going to eat her. But the most painful bit, the worm that walks was at 1 HP. She just needed to roll higher than a 16 using her axe, and the fight would have been over. 10 out of 10. The dice gods wanted that fight to be as intense as it was. My group is playing Curse of Strahd, and we've escaped the clutches of death multiple times over. 3 of us were downed from wolves as a random encounter. More than half the party was almost killed by shadows until our cleric remembered they have turned undead. But if you want our "how the fuck did we survive that" moment, it'd have to be against the shambling mound at the bottom of the death house. First turn. Fighter goes down in 1 hit and is left floating in the water. Second turn, our other fighter almost got overkilled. After recovering from a turn of having a panic attack, our warlock tried to do fairy fire to give us all advantage, because the rest of us were missing attacks left and right, and the mound succeeded on its saving throw by 1 point. Hell, even our cleric got downed as he tried to rush up and help the fighters get back up. The only person who's doing any damage is me, the Grung Ranger in the back, constantly plinking it with poisonous arrows, of which aren't doing much since it's succeeding all its con saves. Our luck only slightly changed when our nearly overkilled fighter got a nat 20 on their death save and escaped being engulfed. After that, I managed to, somehow, persuade the shambling mound to attack the elf warlock in the back of the room, letting everyone else escape, all while I'm still plinking it with my arrows. Most of the party managed to get far enough away from our fighter, who I should mention is a 4-armed triclean, to pick up 2 of the party members and rush to the exit. She even tried to do the same with 2 of our other party members and was asked to roll a strength save, because there was no way a character who nearly died could carry 4 people. Nat 20. I was the last one left out, just plinking away at the shambling mound to make sure everyone else gets out alive. And somehow, because I was the only person doing a moderate amount of damage, I managed to kill it. I rushed as far as I could to the exit with the rest of our party, and I was about to not make it from the collapsing building. But I managed to ask my DM if I could use my Grung's long tongue to grip onto the triclean carrying everyone else, because at this point, it was established as a thing he could do. 1 successful acrobatics check later, and we're on the bottom floor of the house, escaping from that. We managed to do all that, though my character, probably as some sort of cosmic karma, actually gets down as he exits the house and loses his foot. He's alive though, as are the rest of us, and I fully expect Curse of Strahd to do far worse things to us. Hey everyone, Brian Von VA here, checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you liked the video, and be sure to ring that bell so you can get notified whenever we go live or post a new video. If you want your story to be read live or in a video, of course, make sure to check out our subreddit r/MrRipper and submit it on there. And, of course, please check us out on Twitch and Twitter. The links are in the description below. Using a help action, you can always come over to my YouTube, Brian Von VA, stop by, say hello, where I stream games and make voice acting videos. I always want to end things with a little bit of positivity, but today I just wanted to say physical health and mental health both matter a lot. Right now, a lot of people are focusing on the mental health aspect of things because they're stuck inside and away from their family and friends. But don't neglect your physical health either, which kind of sounds crazy to say right now, but it's true. So many people are out there like me suffering with ulcerative colitis or fibromyalgia or some sort of physical illness that they're overlooking because the mental strain is too strong. I'm telling you right now to take a look at your physical health as much as you are your mental. Stay safe out there because I want you to be A-okay. You all deserve that. I love every single one of you. Please be safe, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.